Look at your hands. Look at how fast you're running. For the last few years, the old playbook kept telling you the same lie. Just give up your sleep, your sanity, and your youth, and the system will reward you. But you woke up, you looked around your cubicle, and you realized you were just a line of code in someone else's spreadsheet. You gave them 80 hours a week. You gave them your prime years. And what did you get in return? The math simply stopped making sense. Hard work used to buy a house. Today, it barely covers the interest rates. You got tired. Everyone got tired. Hustle culture didn't make our generation wealthy. It just made us hyper-medicated and broken. So you opted out. You chose a new path. You built an entire philosophy around a single seductive phrase, the soft life. You started quiet quitting. You closed your laptop at exactly 5 p.m. You scrolled through internet aesthetics that validated your retreat. You told yourself you were protecting your peace. You traded the corporate ladder for a slow afternoon at a minimalist coffee shop. Default, it feels amazing, doesn't it? It feels like you finally outsmarted the capitalist machine. But let's drop the illusions right here, because while you are protecting your peace, something dangerous is happening underneath. Ultimate comfort without an absolute financial foundation is not healing. It's a slow-motion financial suicide. You aren't escaping the system. You are just floating on a comfortable raft, letting the current carry you toward a vertical drop. You do the math, and the math doesn't make sense anymore. Welcome back to the Disciplined Mind. Today, we dissect the dark psychology of the soft life delusion. Let's look at the science of why your brain loves this trap. This is your prefrontal cortex, the command center of your focus and resilience. Willpower is not a concept, it's a biological muscle. And like any muscle, it obeys a fundamental law. Use it or lose it. Every time you swipe away a difficult book, every time you choose cognitive comfort over mental friction, you are microdosing laziness. Your brain gets a cheap dopamine hit without earning it. It wraps your ambition in a soft, suffocating blanket. You tell yourself you are curing your burnout, but in reality, you are just engineering your own fragility. Think about the phrase, soft life. It was born out of extreme desperation. When inflation makes the future unaffordable, the brain stops looking far ahead. Internal monologue. I can't afford a house anyway, so why bother trying? Let me just enjoy my expensive coffee and quiet quit my life. That is not freedom. That is a submission disguised as self-care. It's a coping mechanism for a generation that feels economically castrated. But here's the cold truth the internet influencers leave out. The system doesn't pause because you decided to take a mental health decade. Inflation doesn't care about your boundaries. Your landlord doesn't care about your trauma. While you are protecting your peace by doing the bare minimum, the economic floor beneath you is aggressively shrinking. You aren't hurting the corporation when you quiet quit. They will replace you in a heartbeat. The only entity you are quiet quitting is your own future. You are trading your prime, high-energy years for temporary comfort, and you are doing it in a world that rewards only leverage and competence. It is a hyper-expensive illusion. You are being sedated by the lifestyle content so you don't look at the burning ledger. Look closely at the balance sheet of your life. If you remove the aesthetic, what is actually left? Let's strip away the romance. True freedom in a capitalist society requires an economic fortress. It requires leverage. You cannot buy a fortress with a 9-to-5 job where you do the bare minimum. You cannot build leverage by escaping into a bubble of avoidance. The soft life movement tells you that you are enough. But under the cold light of reality, if you don't possess a rare, highly valuable skill set, the market treats you as commodity software. And commodities are easily optimized, outsourced, and erased. Ask yourself, when artificial intelligence can replace 80% of administrative tasks, what happens to the quiet quitters? They won't be living a soft life. They will be forced into a brutally hard reality with zero preparation. The internet sold you a toxic optimization. It told you to reduce your stress by reducing your output, but that's a temporary hack. True stress reduction doesn't come from running away from the arena. It comes from mastering the game. It comes from being so competent, so financially armored that the volatility of the economy cannot alter your lifestyle. You don't need less work. You need more focused, deeply impactful execution. Stop letting influencers who made millions selling you courses tell you to slow down. They accelerated first. Now it's your turn to accelerate. Wake up from the aesthetic dream. Cut the invisible bleed of small habits that make you weak. Choose the hard path now while you still have the youth, the time, and the clarity to build. Because if you don't choose your heart today, a completely unmanageable heart will choose you tomorrow. The The soft life is a luxury of the protected. In the real market, nobody is coming to protect you. So, what is the alternative? We do not go back to the toxic, mindless hustle. We choose a far more lethal strategy: Strategic Hermit Mode. You build a life defined by deep focus, extreme competence, and minimal exposure to useless noise. You construct a hard-shell, focused mind lifestyle. True peace isn't the absence of a storm. It's the absolute control over your mind inside the storm. You stop performing your life for an audience on social media. You go dark. You accumulate asset classes and high-leverage skills in silence. You do the boring, heavy tasks, not because a toxic boss ordered you to, but because you are building your own sovereignty. When your mind is disciplined, work ceases to be an agonizing chore. It becomes a sharp instrument used to carve your freedom. You choose your hard. A disciplined life is heavy, but a life of regret is crushing. Look at your environment again. Strip away the fluff. Simplify your focus until there is nothing left but execution. Disconnect from the algorithms designed to keep you pacified, comforted, and poor. True wealth is not a luxury aesthetic. True wealth is owning your time, your focus, and your autonomy. Stop microdosing the sedation. Step out of the gold-plated cage. The door has been open the entire time. Day by day, build concrete infrastructure of your freedom. No excuses, no aesthetic illusions, just absolute consistency. You are the architect. You write the playbook now. Master your mind. Master your wealth. Welcome to the zone.